What company is totally guilty of false advertising and why? Those pH water bottles that people have had a fad over lately. Seriously, not only is that absolute garbage, I even pH tested a bottle in chem lab at school to prove a point to someone. pH reads 7.0, otherwise called neutral, not the 9.5 pH they so proudly advertise. I've actually ordered something from a web shop that claimed 24-hour delivery. Their terms and conditions explained how that amounted to 3 working days of 8 hours. I got my computer through iBookpower. Before anyone chimes in, I got a killer deal on it price-wise. The parts are good. No problems with it at all. Anyway, it was supposed to be built within 5 business days of my order, then shipped within 5 business days after that. Over a month later I finally got my computer. Of course all of the excuses were covered in the fine print. Those penny auction websites. You aren't bidding on things to buy, you are placing bets to win prizes in a gambling game. It's also heavily rumored that if prices don't go high enough, there are bots to snipe at the last second to keep pushing the prices up so that the max bidders keep bidding. There's a pizza place at the Preston Market in Melbourne that advertises that their pizzas are always half price. That's not half off, that's just the price. We have a fitness for $10 that's been having a grand opening sale for the past few years where their membership is only $10 a month. It's literally in their name. It's not a sale. Anything claiming it's healthy, like cereal with 30% sugar. The really healthy things are usually not advertised as such. Nobody advertises green beans as healthy. That's just obvious. Same with increasing strength or stamina. Talking of food still. There used to be a store called Montgomery Ward. They would send out circulars weekly, maybe twice weekly. If you ever found something you wanted and ventured there, without a doubt they would not have it in stock. Without fail, people. This was years and years ago. At some point they went bankrupt. U-Haul. Only $19.99 a day? Sure, if you plan on renting the truck and sitting in their parking lot. But if you plan on actually driving it, oh, well, that'll be $2 mile. Plus insurance. $20 a day, my butt. Mattel. They once advertised a line of wind-up toy cars that could stick to any surface and drive upside down, sideways, etc. At least that's what was shown in the commercial. Turned out they could only do that on a special track that was sold separately. 11-year-old me was very pissed and mailed them a letter about it. They sent me some discount coupons, but I've never quite forgotten it. I remember those. Yet I remember that they actually advertised them as being magnetic, sticking to metal surfaces. Aquafina. Just saw a news article that they will be required to change their labeling because the water is just tap water. It doesn't come from a spring nor is it purified. I'm pretty sure their packaging already states that it's tap water. If I remember correctly, it says the water comes from public water sources or something along those lines. University of Phoenix and all other for-profit colleges. They are either not accredited or not sufficiently accredited. Nationally accredited rather than regionally accredited. The degrees are not worth the paper they are printed on. Employers look at them as a joke. Lumosity or any related brain training games. Any results you see over time are due to getting better at the specific games presented, not indicative of overall improvement in cognitive function. Source: I am a neuroscientist specializing in neuroplasticity. Honestly, and hope it's not too late, but vitamin water. From 2011 to 2013 that company was saying that vitamin water was actually good for you, and it was a popular product at the time. You'd see lots of people with VWs. It had lots of flavors, each with a different vitamin, strength, stamina, that kind of stuff on the label, and also had some kick-ass commercials. Turns out that vitamin water is just sugar water and not full of vitamins at all. No one I know even drinks it anymore today. The best part was when they were in court being sued. If I recall correctly, the lawyers for Coca-Cola, owners of vitamin water, said no one would actually believe that vitamin water has health benefits. Has anyone seen the new line of Chevy commercials supposedly comparing the truck bed strength of Chevrolet versus other brands? They will do things like drop significantly less weight in the Chevy truck bed, or use wacky camera work that makes it impossible to see the Chevy's damage clearly. Financial service corporations. debt settlement, IRS settlement help, college loan help, debt consolidation. Most of these activities can be done without someone proving the service. Most companies that work in this area almost make it impossible to be successful because they charge way too much for way too little service. Goddamn mini fridges that say they have a freezer compartment, but then you read the manual and it says not an actual freezer, after it's already had an edict you into buying it. Some people claim energy bracelets don't work and have full of crap advertisements, but every time I put one on I'm able to sprint 10 miles on a rope, in between 2 skyscrapers during a hurricane. They change my magnetic field and allow me to become superhuman. It's basically the same concept as Superman getting power from the sun, just a little more complicated to make it work for the average person. I don't know if it would be classified as advertising by any means, but on Thursday I booked a flight for my wife and I with a hotel stay to an island in the Caribbean. I used Prissaline to book it. I spent hours finding a deal that I thought would be both fun and affordable. When I finally did, I selected the flight and room I wanted and it gave me a price of $535 per person. Awesome. Not too bad for a 5-day trip. Click next to go to final page with payment information and price jumps to $615 per person. What? I clicked back to make sure everything was included. Hotel, flight, cancellation insurance per person, taxes and fees all included. So why did it jump up almost another $200? I called Prissaline to speak to someone, which was an ordeal in itself, so had to resort to a text message box service to them via their website. The lady I talked to said those are just base prices they put on the website and then when you go to check out, it goes to whatever the available rate is during that time. This was frustrating because, although some people might say it's only $200, I was really hoping to stay as close to our $1,000 budget, and if I had known that in the beginning, would probably have looked at other options from different companies first. But by this time decided to just pay the extra money. I guess I don't understand why they can't put the available rate pricing on their website in the first place and now don't feel very good towards Prissaline. Does anyone know if other companies such as Expedia, or Bits, etc. are the same? This is only the second vacation I will have been on. The first was a cruise, and their prices were the same from start to finish. But by this time decided to just pay the extra money. This is how they get away with this. Axe body spray for men. Almost every girl I know, including myself, freaking hates that crap. Smells awful. Generally has the opposite effect. Women are not magnetized to you. They are repelled. In the UK no one but teenagers use it. It's like as soon as you get to 18 you switch. I'm teacher, surrounded by Axe using kids constantly. AT&T. They advertise rollover data, implying your unused data rolls over month after month. It doesn't. Should be called leftover data. You can use any unused data from the previous month. It does not roll over to a second month. It's a half barrel rollover. It rolls over once, then it's on the flat side and gets stuck. Pam cooking spray. They, like many other companies, take advantage of an FDA loophole regarding serving size and calorie count to market their oil-based sprays as calorie-free or no fat. This is absolute bulls. By stating that the serving size is a 1/3 of a second spritz, the calorie count is less than the 5 calorie threshold, so they are allowed to say 0. Who the frick only sprays for 1/3 of a second? Most people drench their pans because they think it's no calorie spray. It's about 1 gram of fat per second. If you spray the pan for 8 seconds and feed 4 people, it's still only 2 grams of fat and 18 calories per person, assuming none of the spray stays on the pan. Those new 1% Sprint commercials saying Verizon is only 1% better than Sprint now. IDK where the frick they are getting that statistic from. But I just switched from Sprint to Verizon and it was the best decision I've ever made. I'm still trying to get used to having service, like, anywhere, because on Sprint I sure didn't. Most of Sprint's numbers usually describe the service levels and coverage around Overland Park, Kansas. Everything natural. If you bake homemade bread you are processing food. If you make homemade pickles with vinegar and salt you are adding preservatives. Sugar from sugarcane is as heavily processed as sugar taken from corn. They found natural honey from 2000 years ago that was still usable. On the same vein, anything chemical free, Hate to break it to you, company, but everything is chemicals. Arby's. Back when their slogan was "It's good mood food." I only eat Arby's when I am wallowing in sadness from not being able to cook or having enough money to get something better. I am by no means in a good mood when I eat Arby's. The problem for me was when they would put out coupons like buy 5 roast beef and cheddars for $5 and I go, that's a good deal. But then I'm eating 5 roast beef and cheddars and getting thoroughly sick of roast beef and cheddars. Where are my 90s kids still reeling with disappointment over unrealistic visions of water fights thanks to Super Soaker commercials? How can we ever learn to trust again? Don't even get me started on slip and slides. Any tool company that claims their plug-in tool is over 3 horsepower with 120 V power and a 15 amp fuse, it's physically impossible. I saw a shop vac that claimed 5 HP the other day. Total BS. Nutella. They have always pushed this "it's healthy" thing in their ads to the point there were lawsuits. All it has in it is milk, nuts, and a little bit of cocoa after all if their marketing is to be believed. Now they seem to just be doing it subliminally. There's a commercial where they go "spread the happiness" over and over, and I swear a few times they are saying "spread the healthiness" if you listen closely. In reality it's cake frosting that they're saying you should put on your kids' toast to give them a good start to the day. Any health drinks like Life Water, Vitamin Water, Gatorade, drink powders, etc. Literally no beneficial ingredients, and they're made by soda companies to target demographics that swore off of real soda, particularly people with lower incomes, by branding their drinks as easy lifestyle changing products. Their marketing teams are even cited as stating they have no idea why people would somehow associate them with health. Gatorade, Powerade, and other sports drink are a kinda weird case where they have legitimate usage, but the average consumer never gets to the point where they're necessary. It makes sense for pro athletes to use them. It doesn't make sense for Dylan's mom down the street to serve it with dinner for hydration purposes. Maxwell House coffee, good to the last drop. According to Maxwell House law, President Theodore Roosevelt was visiting Andrew Jackson at Jackson's estate, the Hermitage, on the 21st of October, 1907. During this visit, he was served Maxwell House coffee, and he reportedly said that it was good to the last drop. Owners Leon T. Cheek and John Neal heard President Roosevelt's bold statement, and they adopted it as their corporate slogan. It's a nice story, but it's one that has never been historically proven. Maxwell House has since then said that the slogan was originally written by Clifford Spiller, a former president of General Foods. Yet, in 2009, the coffee company reverted back to its original claims that the slogan came from Roosevelt. They even ran a commercial depicting President Roosevelt retelling that famous story. Except Andrew Jackson was dead long before Teddy was born. 1845 versus 1858. Source: Google. Almost all non-profits. Source: I am the director of a large animal rescue 501 non-profit charity. Nobody ever looks over our books, how much we bring in and where it goes. Because of the nature of what we do, everyone expects that we're honest people. I try to be, and my biggest fight is with other, less reputable organizations. However, when I try to tell people the truth, none of your dollar is helping fight cancer. People get angry with me and claim I don't care about X cause, because I'm bad-mouthing a group claiming to fight for said cause. Look up how much of Susan G. Komen is left after overhead. Deduct lawsuits that they filed to protect their Pink X for a Cure brand, and they're essentially causing harm for people who suffer cancer, as money that should go to research is just getting burned. Yes, larger organizations get audited. However, the bulk of this behavior is not illegal, so that doesn't really fix anything at all. There's a phone company here in the US that was through Walmart called Straight Talk. Now, I've never used it, but I know for a fact that they had false advertisement. They used to have this commercial and even on their cards that said unlimited talk, text and data for only $45 a month. Well, it turned out that your data was not unlimited. They gave you 2.5 gigs and after you hit that limit they would throttle your speed so hard that it was unbearable. I heard so many complaints about it. Apparently they were threatened to be sued and they did this small, not well broadcasted, offer to reimburse some of their users if they met some Bull's specific requirement. They also ended up boosting the limit to 5 gigs a month and they changed their advertisement as a result. Those Facebook ads that advertise some sort of amazing medieval RTS game for your phone, with a picture of Age of Empires. A&W claiming their meat doesn't have growth hormones or steroids. It's true, but here in Canada it's already illegal so. I love the law commercials that come on telling you that you can sue if you've taken X drug ever and experienced any of the following 100 side effects, or if you've ever been in an accident that was the result of someone else's carelessness, etc. These lawyers are piranhas and anyone who's had to use a lawyer knows that you pay for exactly the services you get and that suing someone isn't free unless you win. These guys constantly try to get class action lawsuits against a company so they can get a load of money and force a settlement simply because the company couldn't afford all their own legal fees plus plaintiff legal fees and the cost to pay out, etc etc. It's such a Shark Tank. Some jack out in the SF Bay Area claimed his company was the only in the area that can replace a window without cracking stucco or damaging the paint. The first time I heard his radio ad, saying how other companies just grab a window from a warehouse, shove it in, and patch it up, I almost wanted to call authorities on him. Figured other businesses would. I asked my father about that company, as he does warranty replacements for windows. There are plenty of people who can replace your window without leaving an ugly black eye. I know, this is rather micro compared to most of these other examples. Niantic's footage of Pokemon Go showed people being able to find Pokemon just about anywhere. In a small town with 150k people like I live in, I'm lucky to find Pidgey, Paras, and Rattata once every 3 hours. Good thing I paid $0 for it. Fabletics.com. First outfits $25. They show you pictures in the ad of available outfits, all with 3 or more pieces, and when you get to the site the sale is 50% off your first outfit, though some are available for $25 or less. I just don't understand why they wouldn't say first outfit 50% off, as I'm far more likely to buy something when I don't feel like I'm getting the bait and switch. The nice 3-piece outfits are only $35 and still a great deal, but when I'm expecting to pay $25 it really ticks me off. Old Navy constantly pretends everything is on super sale by putting vague 50% off signs next to sweaters that are actually 0% off. Barnacle chips. They are most certainly not delicious, yet they sell millions of bags a day. Maybe if they didn't stretch the truth so much. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.